Well, welcome to the first episode of the Lost in Space One-Eyed Monster kit that I've been building along with the Robinson family and the Chariot. What I ended up doing is I kind of went in segments as far as going through the instructions. I decided to go ahead and do the one-eyed monster first. And get him situated. He does come with a total of 10 parts, including, that's including the boulder that he's holding in his hand. So, without further ado, we'll take a look at him right now. And here he is. Let me see if I can get the light down here for you a little better. But anyways, yeah, he went together pretty good. There were some gaps along the way, so what I ended up doing was actually going ahead and gluing all 8 pieces for the monster himself. And once that was glued and cured, I went back with some files, and if you see, he's got 2 halves of his body, and there's a seam line running right here. And so basically, I just went ahead and filed everything down, which kind of helped fill in the gaps itself, and anything that was kind of left over, I went ahead and used some of the Vallejo plastic putty to fill in those gaps. Let that set up a little bit since it is water-based, and then I just applied a wet Q-tip and sometimes a brush just to blend it in. So basically he is set and ready to go for paint. And the next thing I did was to basically do the diorama, which I'll bring here into view. And like I said, this has 5 big pieces total. You got 2 pieces for the base itself, and then you have 2 pieces for the boulders, and then you have the one big piece here for where it's got the Lost in Space on top. So like I said, a total of 5 pieces. And how I glued this together was actually my old standby with the red tube, since we're dealing with big pieces here. So yeah, the old red tube cement for that. I clamped everything down, let that sit for a few hours, and this is what we have. There were some seam lines, like I said, going along here. So again, I went ahead with the some files and filed it down smooth on both sides. And you can see here on this side as well. There is, of course, a seam line where the 2 base pieces are going. But I'll take care of that at a later time there when I do some touch up and some paint work. But there's your diorama. I'll build up in real nice. And then I went ahead and started on the family Robinsons themselves. I don't know why they didn't make these into kind of a one figure. Instead of some parts you have to attach 4 pieces to it, others you have to attach 2 to 3 pieces on each of the figures. But regardless, this is what we're coming up with. The first person I want to show you here is Penny. Like I said, she had 3 pieces. The main body part, then there's the back part of her body was 1 piece, then the front part was actually another piece that was 2, and then this little knee right here was the third part. But like I said, I glued it all together with some of the Tamiya extra thin, let that sit for a while, and then of course I filled in any gaps with the Vallejo plastic putty and filed it down, sanded it down, and this is what we have here. So that is her, all set and ready to go. And the next one is, I guess this would be Don. He actually had 3 pieces together too as well. And again, just, you know, taking my time and putting the pieces together, and then going back and filing it and sanding it, and you know, with the Vallejo putty for any gaps. And this is what we came up with. Like I said, each of the figures had a seam line going across their head, so I had to kind of sand that down with a sanding stick. But and of course with Don here, if you can see here, he came with 2 half body parts. So this was like one half, and then this was the other half. And of course we had to glue them together, and you know, I kind of seamed down the sanded down the line down the middle as best I could. So that was him. And then of course I had to you know, fill in the gaps and everything. But that is him, and he's all set and ready to go for paint. And so the next one up is Will Robinson. Again, Will only had 2 pieces to put together, the main body part and one little front body part of his uniform. And so once that was together, same thing, he had a few gaps along his arms and his around his legs here, but other than that, that's all that needed to be done for Will Robinson, and he's set and ready to go. And then we got Maureen Robinson in a running pose. I believe she had 3 pieces to attach as well. And like I said, once again, we got her all sanded down, filed, and filled in the gaps. So she is ready for a paint job. And then the last one is Professor John Robinson holding the laser pistol. He's the only one that had 4 separate pieces to put together. So, but we got it done. And again, you know, sanding, filing, putting to get them ready for paint. So there you go. There's our Robinson family on that one right there. And like I said, that's about where I'm at right now with this build. Oh, forgot one more thing. Here's the actual boulder. That's going to be held in the One-Eyed Monster's hands. So that's all. That comes in 2 halves, and it's nicely sanded down, filed, and smoothed out. So the boulder is ready to go. All right. So basically, that's where we're at right now. Like I said, again, I'm going to work on these 3 features right now, and I'm going to hold off on the chariot. And like I said, I'm working on locating some decals for the chariot itself, since it did not come with the box. So until then, everybody have a good day. We'll catch y'all later, and next up we'll see some paint work done. So until then, have a good day. Bye.